This morning, until you experience what grace is, you really will not understand what grace is. Do you think you understand grace more than Peter? Do you think you understand grace more than Matthew? Matthew received grace. So Matthew knew what grace is. Paul received grace from Christ. We all know who Paul is, a scholar. He is a scholar. We all knew what he did. But at the end of the day, he became what? Blind. And God told Ananias, go and open his eyes. From that day that Paul received his eyesight, it changed his life completely. I believe he was blind for 3 days, right? Can you try to be blind for 3 days? Try it and see how it looks like. Pretend you are blind for 3 days and sit home and see even if you get someone to even fetch you water to drink. But Jesus gave him another opportunity and opened his eyes. Sometimes you don't understand why Paul is crazy about grace. This is some of the reasons why Paul is crazy about grace. When you read all the gospel, Paul mentioned grace more than 100 times. Paul mentioned grace more than 100 times in the gospel. Jesus never ever mentioned grace one time in the Bible. Go through the Bible, you see it. Jesus never ever mentioned grace, but he demonstrated grace. So the question is, how is it that somebody is always teaching about grace? He never mentioned it because he wanted people to see what grace is about. So he's not talking about it, he's doing it. Jesus is demonstrating grace. He's not talking about grace. He's demonstrating grace himself. Sometimes I think about Jesus and I love him so much because some of us, he has given us the opportunity to be standing even here. It is by his grace. It's by his grace. Please, can you read Luke chapter 5, verse 12 to 13 for us? Luke chapter 5.
Luke chapter 5, verses 12 and 13. While Jesus was in one of the towns, a man came along who was covered with leprosy. When he saw Jesus, he fell with his face to the ground and begged him, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. I am willing, he said, be clean. And immediately the leprosy left him. Amen.
Amen. In the land of Israel, leprosy is a serious disease that casts you out of the land. You become an outcast. You are not in the city. You are outside the gate of the city. You don't come among men. You are not part of the society. You don't join anything. You have no right to be even in the city. He is an outcast. But the Bible says that when Jesus saw him, you cannot even touch a leper. You can't touch a leper. A leper cannot touch you either. So it means that person cannot marry, right? It means that person cannot have children, right? It means that person cannot have family. So totally, you are cast out. We all know how when you have a disease, now even look at what is going on. Nobody want to go close to anybody. And then this is a land with a law that when you have leprosy, you can't touch nobody. You can't be with nobody. You have to be out of the city. But the Bible said that when Jesus saw him, oh Jesus, he touched him. He touched him. This is where the grace comes through. He touched him even before he healed him. Jesus did not even heal him before touching him. But Jesus touched him with the leprosy. He touched him. Can you read that verse for me? He touched him before healing him.
Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. I am willing, he said, be clean. And immediately the leprosy left him.
How many of us can do this? You sit in the house of God every blessed day. How much empathy do you have inside you towards your fellow man? The Bible says Jesus touched him before he what? He healed him. Brethren, there's something here that I want to tell you. There's something about grace. Like I said, if you have received grace before, your life is different. Until you receive grace yourself, you know how to give grace to others. And if you have never received grace before, you wouldn't know what it is to be gracious to somebody. And if you have received grace before, you will know how it is to give grace to somebody. The